What up, everybody out there in podcast land? Thank you for tuning in yet again to another episode of the Yeah I Said It podcast. Kane and Ross present the Yeah I Said It podcast. Brainchild of my child. Well, we are here to give you, the goods, the goods, the goods, the goods. As always, I'm off to, well, not as always, I'm off to a shaky start already, but I promise you it's going to get better. We are always expressing with our full capabilities into their mind oneness and correctional facilities. I'm always blessed to be rocking with the best. My co-host, introduce yourself to the folk.
Half man, half Tyrannosaurus. I wasn't born. I was thrown out of a spaceship and landed in your abandoned forest. Uh, yeah. Well, what's good, everybody? Hope everybody's being safe out there, because it's not looking good for you vaccinated people. You know what I'm saying? Like with COVID, I mean, they the Destructicons. I said this off air. They form a devastator out there. Triple variant of
Oh my
COVID.
goodness.
What are y'all gonna do? The vaccine's
Uh,
not get saving you. But all jokes aside, I hope everybody really is staying safe out there. And yeah, we got a lot to talk about. So you know, drill, sit back, relax, and let's get it.
all right. So first off, I got to talk to you because of the region you're located. How's the plague of locusts going?
It
Been
hasn't
seeing
started
some
yet.
pictures. Really? I guess that's where you are. I've seen some pictures from folks up that way, and yeah, they've come out to play already. For those who don't know, the Brood X, I believe they're called cicadas, are coming back after their 17-year hiatus. And oh, the comedy of watching people lose their shit to avoid these things. Do they look big and menacing? Yes. Do they look like murder hornets on steroids? Yes. They're absolutely blind and absolutely harmless and can't do anything but cause you to go to the car wash more often because from experience, you can't just windshield wiper fluid these off, man. They splat on your windshield. You got to go to the car wash. So car washes in the DMV area, DC metro area,
And
DC, Maryland, Virginia. They're about to get oof. They about to
they're
get it.
they're loud as hell.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that part.
I didn't. That's why I said I'm not looking forward to this. Yeah, it'd be funny because you see people running them with their heads cut off, but the car thing, they're loud as hell. The whole freaking how many weeks are gonna be here? What, 4 weeks? So
I don't remember. It
it's
was,
not
yeah, it
fun.
was 17 years ago. Like, wow. I escaped. I'm in a Lone Star State now. I don't deal with such things.
I
I
think
have no
some parts of
humidity.
Texas. I think some parts of Texas do, from what I was
Not
told.
northern, at least not to my knowledge. I ain't seen nothing. But yeah, I was just curious how the invasion is going. I've
I,
seen a few
I,
pictures from my folks up there on Facebook, and they're already showing up on trash cans and this and that. Like, uh oh.
oh, nah, I haven't been outside today. Not yet, but when I go outside, if I see something, it is what it is. But it's not loud right now, so that means if there is some out, it's just some, not the whole gang of billions and billions of them out, which is good. So we keep it that
Okay.
way.
All right. So we're gonna get this thing started off. I'm gonna have to correct you, sir. Um, in the world's greatest city in the glorious Empire State, the greatest team in professional sports history, the New York Yankees, have had quite the COVID outbreak. Now here's the thing. According to what I've read, the vaccine is doing exactly what we were told it would do. It kept them from getting the absolute worst symptoms. They're asymptomatic by and large. And that's that. From what we were told, trust the science. If you got the vaccine, it would absolutely keep you from dying a slow and horrible death. And based on the amount of positive COVID tests with the Yankees, and no one's been rushed to the hospital, isn't that now science? Isn't that now proof to go run and get the vaccine? It does what we were told it was going to do.
I mean, I haven't got the vaccine. Last time I checked, I don't have it. And if I do have it, I'm asymptomatic. So whatever I've been doing seems to be working. I can't speak for you, so I don't know. But
I'm just saying.
for me personally, I don't need it because I haven't got it. And if I do have it, it's asymptomatic. Um, but I guess it proves that yeah, if you take the vaccine, you can still catch it. And they're saying that you're highly unlikely to spread it with the vaccine, which is okay, maybe. I mean, most of them had the vaccine in the Yankees, and they still spread it to their teammates. So it's not 100% foolproof. But
But that's the thing. It was never supposed to keep you from getting it. What it was supposed to do is make sure you don't die a horrible death and can't breathe and basically all of the
well,
horrible things we've heard about
that's
a year ago.
this is a small case because I don't think this applies for everyone. Like I said, I don't know the numbers of people who died recently because of COVID and if they had the vaccine or not, but we need bigger numbers than just 9 players to say that this was a complete success in my book.
I'm just so you're not so what you're telling the people here is you are ignoring the science and you're
Nine,
not signing up. You're
nine
not
people.
signing up to get your vaccine.
9 people. That's science. 9 people. You test 9 rats. You gonna release that medication? No.
Okay. Okay. I'm just checking. I'm just making sure we're being fair here because I don't
Nine
know.
people.
That's as they always say, trust the science. Here is incontrovertible truth. The science works. You had
Nine.
people, you know how close baseball players are, how tight they are in a dugout. They roll together. There's a game like every day. So if there was ever a chance to say, yo, this vaccine don't work, it was that. You got all these folk on the same team, same proximity, and no one got rushed to the hospital. Everyone's vaccinated. The vaccine protected them. And at this point, if you don't understand how utterly sarcastic I'm being,
Yo,
okay.
it's
I had
nine.
to keep a straight face. I had to keep a
It's,
straight face. I'm
it's
sorry.
it's 9 very rich people with great health care that apparently are asymptomatic or whatever. So it's like that's just 9 people. That's not. I can't believe in that with just 9 people, especially when they're highly rich and can afford very good health care.
Viruses don't discriminate. Viruses don't see your bank account.
Yeah, but I'm saying like they have a way better chance of better healthcare than we do.
I mean, the vaccine is the vaccine is the vaccine, though.
Yeah, but yeah, like 9 people. Like I said, if you show me a bigger list with like hundreds or thousands of people this is happening with, then I'll be all right. You got a point.
Well, see,
Nine
sitting
people.
on that sitting on that side of the fence, though, it's not just 9 people. It's 9 people that's real close, really close all the time. The risk of infection is pretty high. The infection happened and no one got really sick. And if you remember the special Tyler Perry did with the two doctors,
So
that's what they explained. The again, just based on what I've heard, based on the stuff I've read, it's not supposed to keep you from getting it. It's supposed to keep you from getting those horrible symptoms that land you in a hospital and scar your lungs and all the. That's what it's supposed to do. That's why they
but
told you, if even if you get vaccinated, you should keep your mask on. So technically, I would think
well,
these 9 is success given the circumstances.
I heard differently about the mask thing. They're actually saying you don't need a mask. But recently, if you okay, I'm just saying you. I'm just correcting what you're saying. As they said, if you got vaccinated, you technically don't need a mask. That's what I've been heard. That's what I've seen. The CDD
oh,
say.
okay. Oh. I know this wasn't technically where we supposed to go, but you just said something that just reminded me, bruh. Have you been paying attention to the incentives?
So what?
Oh, they are giving away hella incentives to get vaccinated.
Oh
I
yeah,
do
yeah, yeah.
believe it is Ohio that you can get in the lottery and possibly win $1 million. I'm sorry. When is the last time someone would to give you if someone say, "Hey, I give you $1 million to take this shot"? This we can't be the only people this looks suspicious to. Are we like anybody else find this strange?
Like they're really pushing this vaccine. Like, you got good old Joe Biden saying bad things will happen to you if you don't take it. So it's like, man, I don't trust it. Something smells fishy. Like I said,
It's
it smells
right,
fishy.
like a
Like every
million dollars to take. Not, you know, And
Like,
that part is almost aimed at the poor. And I haven't seen the numbers of those who haven't taken it. But if I'm well off, if I'm making a six-figure salary, what do I? You're not gonna incent me with $1 million. That just looks like a tax head. That looks like a tax headache to me. So you're specifically targeting those who are economically, shall we say, challenged. Because what's $1 million if you already got money? So, but if you are in a poor neighborhood, those who have economic challenges, $1 million to take a shot, sign me up. Hmm.
not me. See, you want to up that to $1 billion for me to take it, and I still would probably won't take it. But it just seems like everywhere I look, people are more pushing and pushing to get this vaccine. I'm like,
Right.
I'm not going to erase all the bad things I've seen. Is how people react to this vaccine in my out of my mind, just because y'all so tormented on getting everybody vaccinated, like the virus will just disappear, and like there isn't strains that the vaccine can't really help you with. So I mean,
It
whatever.
just seems way odd to me.
To each his own.
It is. I don't know if we talked about this at length on the show, but it's just I don't think extremism on either side is cool. I don't think the whole I'm not ever wearing a mask, getting vengeance upon my rights. But I get it because for those who think in that vein, it's a short fence. Like the thing no one's asked any questions about is the legality of all of this. Like I said, people want to admonish me a year ago, and I was just asking, like, so what if you don't stay in your house? Under what authority is it? Oh, you're just being anti. No, I'm literally asking you, like, we grown adults being told to stay in your house by the government,
And
all
not
under the
getting hit.
auspices, right? All under the auspices of public health. Real short fence there between other things we can be told, ordered to do. And I'm simply asking, well, who's enforcing this? Where's legality? Like anybody taking a look at the law books to see, how this is all happening? Because, air quotes, America was founded to avoid tyranny. Oh,
Yeah.
the irony. But, the
Till they
whole
got
point was,
till they got martial law. Yeah. And then you can do what you want.
right. So that's the thing. That's the thing I'm asking here. And I'm like, I don't think extremism is cool on either side. On the one side, I'm like, listen, if you want to go into Walmart and be the asshole that gets kicked out of Walmart because you won't pull your mask up, if that's the hill you want to die on, so be it. I just think it's bigger things to worry about. But okay, fine. But then on the other side of that coin, don't be a mask snob either. I go outside in two masks, and you peasants, I've been here, here, here. You peasants down to wearing masks. You filthy dregs of society. Like, check this out, Chief. Anything you
Kowalski.
want in life, right? Anything you want in life at this point can be delivered to your door. So if you don't want to deal with people being people, stay your ass in the house. Problem solved.
That
Whatever
is
you
true.
want, bring it to your door. Because
That,
mass snobbery
yeah,
ain't cool neither.
that's true.
But I'm just as anybody asking questions anymore.
Nope.
You get called an anti-vaxxer, you get called a conspiracy theorist. I'm just asking basic questions like make it make sense, and I'll roll with you. But this hasn't. It's so many pieces of this that hasn't made sense from day one, and I'm not tumbling down the. It was made in a lab to destroy people in population control. I'm not even going down that rabbit hole. And trust me, I've heard them. I'm just asking basic questions, and some of this don't make sense. If you make it make sense, I'll rock with you. But no one's been able to make it make sense, and I've tried. I have tried, but yeah, this is gonna be the thing people hang their hat on. They're gonna say, "Hey, all of the Yankees got it. They got the vaccine, and that's what kept them safe." I can't exactly argue that point.
Yeah, but we
Um,
don't we don't know what would happen if they didn't take it and they caught it. What if the same thing happened? Then what?
they'd probably all be hospitalized and on ventilators, breathing their
But
last breath. At least
now,
that's what
but the NBA and the NFL, when they had positive tests, most of them didn't go to the hospital. Most of them was just asymptomatic and they tested and then they went away. So what about that?
do 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 do.
Like last time I checked, I haven't heard about an NBA or NFL player And they're close too, especially NFL. All them damn people on the team, and I haven't heard any of them going to the hospital because they got COVID. I just heard, oh, so and so tested positive for COVID. He's on IR for right now, and then comes back like a week later.
Okay.
So,
I mean, again, there you go, asking valid questions.
so
There you go, asking valid questions.
I'm just saying. So there's plenty of cases where people tested positive and then get rushed to the hospital. Like I said, I feel bad for the people who have, and rest in peace to all the people who died from it. But I'm just saying, like,
It's just
relax. This isn't
I'm
Ebola, bro. This isn't Ebola. Relax.
no, it's not. I just yeah, but that's gonna be the thing people hang their hat on. How dare you not get a vaccine and it works? And I'm like, I well,
Good for
cool.
you.
Clearly boosting my immune system, not doing anything, insanely stupid like being around 40,000 of my non-closest friends in Texas Stadium. Oh my bad. Um, Clearly just taking basic precautions, exercise, and common sense. It's worked out pretty well for me so far without having to inject anything else into my body. So I'm gonna keep rolling with that. And I get it. Well, if anything happens, I'll deal with it. So we're gonna move from the world's greatest city a little further south to South Carolina. I joke, and it's becoming a half of a joke. Everything from like the southern part of Virginia all the way through Texas. Like, because Texas wants to secede every other day anyway. How about we take the entire South and just let them like just drift off into the Atlantic a little bit, and they can be their own region? Because some of the shit they come up with, I'm like, you do realize it's 2021, right? You do understand this. So apparently, the state of South Carolina signed into law that if you are on death row, you now have options. Because people, rightfully so, made a stink about the death penalty. There are chemicals that are used for lethal injection, the most humane way for the state to end your life. Lethal injection, right? A lot of pharmaceutical companies, and get this, Pfizer of all people, a lot of pharmaceutical companies, including Pfizer, have stopped supplying that medication to states for that very purpose. They do not want their medications to be used to end people's lives. The irony on that part is not lost on me either, Big Pharma. So you won't provide the medications to end people's lives, but you also won't come down on the price of insulin.
Or
Anywho.
cure
Just
cancer. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm
well,
sorry.
I mean, that's a murky territory right there.
No, it's
That
not.
presumes there is a cure for cancer that is being
There
held
is.
out on.
There is. Trust me.
That's a whole other conversation for another
It's not.
day.
It's okay. We can go back. We talk about one day,
Right.
but
That's a whole other conversation because I'm not convinced there is. It's
I am.
literally on a very
I
base
am.
surface. It's literally your body fighting itself. Cancer cells
I am.
are your
I am.
body fighting itself.
I,
So I'm not convinced there's a cure for cancer.
there's foods and different stuff in the fucking forest that you can find that literally all it does is kills cancer cells. But you telling me there's no cure, and we have stuff already that does it. Okay, sure.
All right.
Whatever. Go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead. Go
well,
ahead.
all
Go
right.
ahead.
We'll talk. We'll
Yeah,
talk. We'll
go
talk.
ahead.
But we'll talk.
Go ahead.
But yeah. There's you won't come down on the price of insulin, for instance, as a type 2 diabetic. That's problematic for me. But where I was going with this is this. So South Carolina, their divine wisdom and their stick to itness. I think I read there are 37 people on death row in South Carolina that have run out of all their appeals. So that's it. That's it. You're out of here. Now you can't do the humane thing and get the lethal injection. Get the injection, paralyzing agent, stops your breathing, blah blah blah, and you just go to sleep for good. Can't do that though, because medical company said nope. So instead of the humane thing of saying, well, since we can't actually kill you painlessly anymore, we're just going to commute you to a life sentence. And by prison industrial complex standards, a life sentence means we can continue to make money off your cheap labor anyway. Sounds like a win-win, right? Nope, not in South Carolina. South Carolina signed into law that now death row inmates have options. Since we can't inject you, you now have a choice between electric chair and firing squad. Oh, options. You have options on how you want to die. Door number one, two, or three. Lethal injection, maybe. But if we went out of drugs, you get firing squad behind door number two, electric chair behind door number three. Now, both of those are rather arcane. I would say the electric chair being the most arcane, being electrocuted. I don't know. Something about cruel and unusual punishment. Something that there's a clause, there's an amendment somewhere in the Constitution that speaks to cruel and unusual punishment, and sending 30,000 or however many volts through somebody until their eyes pop out of their socket and they shit themselves kind of falls under cruel and unusual, I think. Just saying. But hey, what do you think, South Carolina?
I'm surprised they didn't add lynching to it.
Oh wait, that still happens illegally. Oh my bad. My bad.
Like, dang, if you want to do all this medieval stuff, might as well add lynching.
Drawn and quartered. Get the
Right?
four horses out. Rip your
Hey,
arms and legs off.
get put in the iron pig or iron horse or whatever. I mean,
Right.
we just gonna have we just gonna have different Saul's executions. Just look at
Right,
Saul.
execution by the makers of Saul.
Like, damn.
Oh, smart. And I'm gonna let you finish real quick. I found this very interesting too. There was a provision that mandated some state lawmakers to watch the execution. That didn't make the final draft though. So you'll gladly draw up this kind of legislation will pretty much give someone the choice of how they're going to die, but you ain't got the balls to watch it, huh?
And not to mention all the people or some people, because I seen recently someone was executed and some new evidence came up that it wasn't his DNA. I forgot son's name, so I'm sorry. But I seen that. That's why I was like, yeah, state gets to kill people and they're not 100% sure that they did it. Wow.
Oops.
So you just murdered someone out of cold blood for no reason. And nothing happens. It's just like, oops, my bad.
Yeah.
So I have a problem with the death penalty anyway, because most of the time they don't get it right. And if you're not 100% sure that they are guilty of whatever that put them on death row, they shouldn't be killed. But that's just me. I have my own problem with the jail system, but that's just me. We've already talked about all that. So if you're a fan of the show from the early days, you already know how we feel about that. And damn, electric chair and
Firing squad.
like an actual firing squad, like what, tie you up and just let loose on you?
And from what I understand how it works, there's like six officers to avoid some of the psychological trauma. You don't know, there's six officers, only one of them has a live bullet. So that way you don't have to deal with the psychological trauma of saying I killed this person. Unless they're gonna do something mechanized, who knows? At this point, they might have a robot do it.
But you
But
still have a what a 15 to 20% chance that you still killed that person.
but it might not have been you. It might not have been you.
But you
So
don't know that though. So it could have been you. So maybe it's just me because I have my own mental health problems. But even if, but you don't know, that's still going to eat at you when you go to sleep. Like, did I kill this dude or did I not? And it wasn't right. Should I have
well,
been able to kill this dude or woman or
I mean,
whatever?
I don't think they're gonna struggle with that because remember, on the very base level of things, right? Um, white America already creates the narrative. Now, here's something that is not arguable. 40% of death row inmates are black, which is interesting because again, we make up 15% of the population on a good day, but 40% of the death row inmates nationally, if I'm not mistaken, are black. Now, you and I see that as a huge problem, right? But from that standpoint alone, there's a justification. Well, you guys are more violent. So that's why there's more of you on death row. Well, you commit all the crimes. So you see how you get to the justification early? It's, well, if he had complied. You see how you automatically shift to this is your fault. So you get to, well, if you hadn't killed this person, if you hadn't been selling no drugs, you hadn't da da da, you wouldn't be here. So I get what you're saying. Any moral regular person gonna be like,
Victim
what
of
the hell? I might have
circumstance.
killed this person, but it's already in your head. This person is on death row because it's something they did wrong. We are putting out complete. They were convicted in a court of law.
Okay, so if everything you say is true, then why not give them all live rounds, and you know that you had the bullet and played a part of killing them. If you're gonna make excuses for it anyway, then why do you need to protect them? Because if everything you just said is true and you're gonna make
Mhm.
excuses, which it sounds right, I'm not going to disagree with you. Then give them all live rounds and then let it be over with. Let it be done with. But no, you're not. You're
Um,
protecting them for a reason because you know it's wrong. You know it's wrong.
I mean, I'm with you. I don't think the state should have the ability to kill. And this is one of those things where if you get it wrong, there's no undoing it. This isn't
None.
the same as, and we see this more and more murder cases, rape cases, this and that, and DNA evidence is exonerating people. People are spending 15, 20 years locked up for crimes they had nothing to do with, and then it's just it's horrible. 20 years of your life is literally a quarter of your life gone. Yeah, I might be a millionaire now. I'm gonna sue the state and get a few mil, but that's a quarter of my life gone, spent institutionalized, so on and so forth. And jail ain't no picnic, no matter where you at, unless you in that little, cupcake camp that Martha Stewart went to. The state ain't no no picnic. So it's like that's a quarter of your life gone right there. So yeah, I don't think the state should have the power to kill at all. You can't undo that one.
Nope.
And if we're going to play in this sandbox for a hot second, this country fancies itself a Christian nation. That kind of goes all the way against the whole eye for an eye thing.
So thou
Like
shalt not kill.
that very obvious, yeah, that very obvious one as well. Like, oh, by the way, it's literally written in the top, "Thou shalt not kill." So yeah, kind of, kind of not following the rules there, buddy. But South Carolina, the South, just. And
Yeah.
again, it's funny because I live in the final level boss of the South. I live in Texas. So it's like there's the South and then there's Texas.
Yeah.
But
In Florida. Yeah, they do their
well,
own thing.
Florida is Texas. Florida is Texas light. Florida is Texas is little brother.
And the weird stuff I be seeing going down there. No disrespect to my Florida people down there if you listening and watching. But y'all be doing some weird
Some of
stuff
y'all
down there.
special. Some of
Yeah,
y'all
yeah,
special.
y'all be doing some weird stuff down there, man. It's
So
funny
some
as
of
hell,
y'all,
but yeah,
some of
yeah.
y'all, yeah. Because you know certain things you see it. You don't have to guess. You don't even
Yep,
know.
that's
Yep, that's
Florida.
Florida. You don't even have to.
Yeah.
I don't even need to read the caption. I already know.
Yep, that's
That's
Florida.
Florida.
That's some Florida shit
That's
right there.
right. Yeah. Because here I've learned, I've learned in the years I've been here. Yeah, that's just Texas being Texas. But certain things, yeah, that should happen in Florida. I'm pretty sure. Just
Yeah.
which part? I'm pretty sure. That's Florida being Florida. But yeah, South Carolina, you could have been. Yeah, that was your great idea. Not end the death penalty. Just find a different way to kill yourself. Essentially, like, okay, so we ran here. Okay, here's the bad news or good news. We ran out of the drugs necessary to execute you. So you gonna give me a life sentence? No, dummy. We're just gonna let you pick a different way to die. Silly rabbit. Like, what?
Yeah.
What? This is oh, I'm just the logic behind this is mind numbing. Like this, so this is what you. I mean, it's a running joke. That's not really a joke. There are certain things and certain decisions that happen, and I can look at it and say, "This is what happens when there were no black people in the room." There couldn't have been anybody black in the room. Like, yeah, so Pfizer said we can't have the drugs to execute them. So what should we do? Oh, pick me, pick me. Hey, how about we just commute in life sentences then? Nah, we got a couple of ways we can kill him. Let's go with that instead.
Unless they coon-tastic. What black person? Other than that,
Oh, good one. We have not had to use coon tastic in a while. Good job. Good job. Thankfully, we've not had it. Well, we haven't had to use coon tastic because there's a couple of things we didn't touch on, and I'm just leaving that out there because there were a couple of coon tastic moments that have occurred in the last couple of months. We just didn't touch it. Woo! But Kamala almost had a coon tastic moment. I was like, whoa, because this one representative was talking about, I can't. I'm gonna leave it alone. But Kamala, oh, the country isn't racist, and I'm like,
who said that?
this represent I forgot because I let it potentially roll past me, but some representative was like, "This country's not brother on the outside only. This country's not racist," and then Kamala rolled with it. I'm like, okay, you're coontastic, and Kamala, watch yourself because you're getting dangerously close.
You're getting the
You're getting dangerously
coonerific.
close.
You're
You're
getting
getting
the
dangerously close. All
coonerific.
right, you're dangerously close there. But okay, all right. So shifting gears slightly. Um, and I'm curious of how you feel about this one because I'm honestly not sure, but I think that's because of where I sit with it. Tennessee and a few other places are trying to ban teaching what's called critical race theory. Now, essentially, what that comes down to is there are some folks who don't want critical race theory, white folks who don't want critical race theory taught in schools.
Makes sense.
Essentially, we want to it's the way it reads to me, and I might be a little biased. I got a whole hell of a lot of melanin that might cloud my judgment. But the way it reads to me is we don't want to talk about the past. We don't want the past taught. We want to pick up from here and move forward. We do not want to bring the pain and the anguish and the ugly of the past into our children's classrooms. Um, on its face, on its face, that's not so bad. On its face, it's like I can I can kind of see where that makes sense. But the aforementioned melanin in my blood in my skin says, nah, you don't get to pretend the world started in 1965. You need to see these lynchings. You need to see the iron bit. You need to see these slaves with whip marks in their back. Is it happening now? No. But you need to understand why black folk are where they are to a certain degree now, how things came to be. Because as you have obviously said, nothing changed but the laws. And you're right. I try to argue that point, but no, the more I think about it, you are correct. Mentalities have only changed but so much. So, like I said, on the one end, on its face, it seems like let's not teach the hatred. Let's not teach about slavery and that the atrocious thing that was. Let's teach about the world basically from 1965 to now, and you don't teach the hatred, the division, the this and that. But don't sit right with me. Where you at on it, man?
They don't sit right with me either. They basically said in an article that it's the information age, like you've always said, it's the information age. So it's like it's not our job to teach them about race and the hatred and the history. They can find that out from their parents and from the internet. So we don't have to poison the kid's mind and make them feel bad about themselves or their race or feel guilty. But damn it, this is America, man. All I want is for the schools to finally tell the truth. Just tell the truth, and then let the kids decide from their own perspective how they feel about it. But to me, like with hiding the truth or dismantling what happened in the past and just from 1965 and on, that's not a full story. That's just a tainted picture. So what are you really teaching these kids? Because they have no history to back them up. Like, bro, just tell the truth. I know America has an ugly truth and an ugly, bloody truth. It was built on the backs of slaves, deceit for the Native Americans, the hateful taste of Hispanics and immigrants, Asians, blah blah blah. So it has an ugly history. But I think, me personally, I think I'd rather be told the truth, like especially in school. Like tell the truth and let the kids in the information age help them guide them to make their own decisions. Stop
Right.
trying to. We're too overprotective. Like, bruh, if not even that, and it's whitewashing at the same time. Because, like, yo, we're just going to make America look like none of this happened. We're just going to completely erase slavery and all the effects that happen to this day from
Deontay
that.
Wilder voice to this day.
To this day.
So,
Like, nah, man, miss me with that, dog. Like, I'm tired of sparing white people's feelings, even if they are kids. Like, stop it. Just tell the truth, man. That's all you had to do. Tell the truth, and
all
then let
right.
them form an opinion that they feel. If they feel guilty,
So
oh, so what?
I'm gonna hop on the other side of the discussion for a hot second, and you tell me if you think this flies. The and I could be taking this way further than they actually want to take it, but the thought process is this: if I teach you from a perspective that Black people and people of other ethnicities were never inferior, then that's how you grow. If I teach you from the perspective of we enslaved these people, we treated them like second class citizens, we treated them, well, actually, we treated them as property, then that seed is there for you to say, well, once upon a time, you were inferior. Whereas if I start from 65 on, then we are teaching you from a standpoint that we were all equal to begin with. Now, if you want to go look it
Bruh,
up
I'm about to
and
say,
see what else was out there, fine. But our education starts from Black folk, white folk, all folk. We're starting from the same starting point. And I'm like, on his face,
no, we're not, because we're never at the same starting point. That's a lie. But no, like, no. Because then you're not telling the whole truth. And then this is the information age. They're going to see the news. They're going to watch the news. They're going to see on the internet people dying, people like Sean King or like us talking about it. Like, and they're going to be like, what are they talking about? Like, what? This,
but
huh?
is but and then that creates a sense of brotherhood. Like, wait a minute. It's one thing when you can sit back and have this internalized belief, I'm better than you, those people deserve it. Goes back to the conversation we just had a few moments ago. You automatically villainize these people being us, of course. He deserved it, blacks are more violent, blah, blah, blah. If your education starts with these people are equal to me, then you take just as much offense to seeing them hurt.
But even if you stole from 65 and on, we're not seen or viewed as equals.
Agreed.
So the
I
equal
mean,
part
again,
that you're saying doesn't make sense to me because that's not the case. They can't even teach that unless you
I'm trying
boldly
to.
lie.
I mean, I'm trying to make it make sense, and I'm like, no,
It doesn't.
no, you gotta look at the ugly,
You
man,
got to.
and because the other problem with that is if you start with the notion of we are brothers and sisters, we are equal, then it also on the back end shuts down the reparations conversation. And it's like, well, we're equal. What are you talking about? It's like, no, 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 nah, fam, nah, fam. Run the jewels, run the jewels. Come up off that check. Come, run the jewels. Come up off that check. So I don't. I no. You got to get this work. I'm not for banning critical race theory. It's a short fence now to whitewashing and erasing history, and I'm not for it.
I'm not.
Granted, your average white person today has literally, and that's the thing they always say. I'm not racist. I never owned slaves. No one in my family owns slaves. What are we really talking about? I get that, but you cannot ignore the inherent advantage and or privilege that comes with living under this white supremacist system. Because that's the other thing too. Can you really? I don't know if we're teaching white supremacy in schools. That's a phrase I didn't become familiar with until I started reading more, until I started reading Malcolm, read Malcolm's autobiography, and then went down the rabbit hole. It's like, um, and oh wait, Phil's about to get pissed off at me. But until I started listening to a few speeches from Farrakhan, and it's like, it's not an issue with your average white person. The issues with the white supremacist system that we live under. And I understand that's a buzzword and trigger for some, but that also is very much fact. Everything in this country was designed by white men and designed to keep white men in power. That is fact. When you look at who the founding fathers were, there's no denying that.
And the difference between
So,
black and white is mad privilege. Shout out to Black
so
Power.
yeah, yeah. So it's like, I wonder if that part is being taught. Like, even if you take out quote unquote critical race theory, you can't just gloss over. Look, whenever you say founding fathers, you're talking about a pack of racist motherfuckers. Like, you can't get around that. It goes back to White History Month. Like, okay, cool. Let's tell the truth. If you don't want to talk about Black history, cool. Let's talk about white history.
Exactly.
Ooh, that's gonna get real fun real quick. Gonna get real
Real,
fun real quick.
0 to 100, real quick, real quick.
Like, well, the founding fathers. Which racist one are you talking about? Which races are you talking about? Just curious. Jefferson, the ones that don't say which races one are you talking about? Just curious. So yeah, there's that. All right, moving along. Um, we got a little time here, and I don't know if we're gonna finish this, but we've been talking about this forever. So we got about another 15, 20 minutes. I just want to have this debate once and for all. Um, This is for hip hop heads. This may not take 15 minutes because he's about to get demolished, but this is for our hip hop heads. All right. It is kind of sort of a little bit universally accepted, at least if you have any real hip hop knowledge. Illmatic is arguably the greatest, most complete rap album ever made. There are arguments upon lyricists who appreciate lyricism that it was written is a very close second. Now, my argument in the pantheon of greatest rap albums is Illmatic still stands by itself. That's just the gold standard, right? For a list of reasons I'm not going to go into right now. If you know hip hop, you know why. Um, but I think a close second is 444, and I will take Jay Z's 444 over It Was Written and damn near over any other rap album because it is also like Illmatic, one of a kind. We have seen nothing like it before because nothing like it could have been written. And I hope we get to see something like it again. But even to that end, Jay's contemporaries that are around his age can't seem to make that album. So it is with that in mind that I have Illmatic and 444 is close second as probably the greatest rap albums ever constructed. You somehow believe it was written trumps it. The floor is yours, sir. Please explain this.
Your only argument is because you said it's a grown man rap. That's your only argument. That's the only thing you say. That he's been beating my head for the past probably couple months, talking about grown man rap, grown man rap. Jay made some grown man rap, like he's the only nigga that made grown man rap. Like Jay Electronica's album wasn't grown man rap. Like Nas's album, the new albums, it wasn't grown man rap. Like Black Thought's album isn't grown man rap. Like, come on,
It's
that's your own. Stop it. It was written as real comparable to Illmatic. You said it yourself. I'm sorry. Like 444 might be a top three album. I'm not gonna disagree with you there. He's somewhere top three, top five. Okay, I'll give you that. If you want to say that's Jay's best album, I'm like, all right. I mean, some people argue with you. I'm not, but like, nah. Like your only argument is grown man rap. That's it. That's your only thing you said. You never made any other point.
please allow me to elaborate then, sir. Let's think about this. Grown man rap. What that means is we are not talking about Marcy Projects J anymore. We're talking about a married mogul of three, and he happens to be married to the biggest female pop star on the planet. we can't get Marcy Project J. It is rap. And then the other thing is, it is this prevailing belief that rap itself is a young man's game, even though Griselda members are all 35 and up.
Let's see,
But
M is
rap
still here,
itself,
Nas is still here, Jay is still here,
all right,
Royce is still here.
let's speak to that. And then that's the other point I made. 444 could be written, could have been made by anyone in that bracket. The closest I would say that came to that would be Royce, because he put a very personal album out. But other than that, let's look at the contemporaries. Nas, King's Disease is a good album. It's not 444. 50, 50 still Project 50. Jim Jones is still, Harlem moving way out the bodega, Jim Jones. Busta, awesome album, but we didn't get a 444. We got bars. Zara's dope outside of that one extra dude. Zara's dope, but
Watch you die. Everything new.
it's like
Everything.
I'm like, Busta owed him a favor. Busta must owed
Yeah,
him a favor.
man.
But
Yeah,
because I'm like, bro, you want to track with legends, you want to track with Busta and MOP, you got sunned like
like,
badly.
bro.
But that album was dope. It's not 444. It is not giving the perspective of an elder statesman. It is not giving a perspective of, yo, I'm married. I'm the life is different now. Things are different now. I done been through some shit. I done been through cheating. There's stocks, there's bonds, there's real things to worry about. This is pull your pants up rap. They're saying like at some point, I expect the only person left I think can make this album like 10 years is probably Drake. At some point, I expect someone to make a grown man rap album where we don't have to hear about the block and drugs and guns and
Did,
bitch. Like,
did Jay
make a
Electronic
real.
did Jay Electronic album drop? I could have swore it's very spiritual and grown man-ish. So we've
He
heard the
doesn't
album
have
like
the
that.
he doesn't have the experiences of Jay, and that's not Jay-Z. That is. It's not corny. Like,
So
it is great
son
lyrically,
son
but
born
it
in New
ain't the same
Orleans
as.
doesn't have the experiences and was broke and I think did drugs too. Doesn't have the experience to talk about what Jay talks about. Really?
No, that we're not saying. Respectfully, Jay's perspective is different. He's not just a great rapper, he's a great businessman, and he's married to Beyonce and everything that comes with that. It's a different set of experiences. I'm not negating Jay Elect, and I think he's one of the greatest lyricists of our time. We just need more of it. But that last album ended up being a duet album with Jay. There's that part.
Right.
No,
But it's still
Nog ended up being
his.
a
It's still his too. So that still
right.
counts.
It's just, if there's no 444, we still have a gaping hole in what it sounds like to be a quote unquote elder statesman in rap. Is there King's Disease? Yes. It's not the same. It's not that King's Disease is bad. It's just that King's Disease is not 444. Jay's album, Jay Electronica's album, that is, it's dope, but it's lyricism for the most part. And that's nothing wrong with that. But we're talking lyricism with content when we come to 444.
And like I said, the J Electronica doesn't have content. Just because you might, I know there's a lot of pro Muslim stuff, but it's still grown man spirituality content. It still
Right.
enlightens you. It's still there's still J like verses on that album that will make you do research and be like, wow, that's what he was talking about. That's grown man rap to me too. Because if you learn
Okay.
something new and it teaches you something great, at the end of the day, that's grown man rap as well, in my eyes. So
All
Jay
right.
doesn't have the only grown man rap album I ever heard. I'm sorry, he doesn't.
Agreed. But he is the beacon. And like I said, 50 can't make a mature album to save his life. And this cat,
50 still trolling people, dog. Like he don't care. He don't care. He's a
you
dog
know,
with no leash, man. Like he you do whatever he wants, man. I would not expect a 444 out of him because he's just a grimy dude, dog. Till he
but I'm
died.
like I said, even Jim Jones, still pushing weight out the bodega, but like I'm looking at the folks that either are older or came in the game around the same time as Jay. Buster's album is dope. It's not 444. So it's a whole lot of gunplay, and I'm still beat your ass and that. Like I said, from a lyrical standpoint, it's cool. But when we talking about something you can listen to and reflect on in real life, it's 444. So to me, the hierarchy, but and again, we haven't seen anything like this before to this magnitude. And I don't know what, if anything, there's really going to be followed up with that. Because, you and I both agree 444 to me is an expansion in a lot of ways of Jay's verses and What's Free and Sorry Not Sorry. It's an expansion of that. It's a different version of Jay. We're not getting Reasonable Doubt Jay. We're not even getting Black Album Jay. We're getting Married Man, Cared About Family, Legacy Jay. And the list of rappers I think capable of doing that, Nas is one. Um, M absolutely, but M has always poured his heart into music. You listen to whatever you said. That's just the way I am. Early on, and toy soldiers and things like that. Emma's got bits and pieces where he's just really being open and honest. But Jay's 444 is really about life, and it's to me it's more, it has more punch because again it was written as a brilliant album and it was written as almost I'm saying it is written amazingly well, probably the greatest metaphor track ever. And I Gave You Power. Like, good luck trying to find another metaphorical track better than I Gave You Power.
There's a couple. Well, there's some that I would say, but yeah, he's the godfather of metaphorical rap. He is.
Right. Like, yeah, there's a couple, but I'm like, it was written at the end of the day as a great rap album. And it was written would be probably Nas's crowning achievement if Illmatic never happened. Not bad. Not bad. That's like,
Yeah,
well,
but he has two.
it's like Illmatic and it was written is like Steph and Clay. Like, oh wow. Even if Steph never happened, well, Clay's the greatest shooter ever. So okay, cool.
Exactly.
it's like Steph and Clay. Like, yeah, you can't lose here. But as an album, it is a great hip hop album. It's a great rap album. 444 is a little more than that. And it's a guidepost. It shows us, yo, yes, rappers do get old. Yes, rappers do get old and get off the block and pull their fucking pants up and sometimes even put on suits and become moguls. It is not all about hood shit, hood shit, hood shit, hood shit. And that's like 444 is a trailblazer. And it opens the lane for a Nas, for a M, and I think in 10 years, 5 to 10 years from now, for a Drake. Drake ain't never been hood, but he's got an interesting life to tell. I think that's probably the only other person that can write something like a 444. So yeah, I'm for, but you're based on the presentation of the arguments, you're still taking what it was written.
Yeah, slightly. It's not like I'm saying 444 ain't close. It's close. I would say it was written,
Wow, wow.
but it's
Okay.
teach his own. Teach his own.
Like I said, I gotta lean on 444 here. It was something that we hadn't heard before. It was honest. It was about life. And like I said, it's to me, it's an expansion of sorts of Sorry Not Sorry, which was actually sorry. I made it funny. No, I just expected it. I think we all can collectively say we expected more from a collab between Jay and Nas.
I told you when I heard it, I was like, yeah, it like you said, it wasn't trash. It's just I was thinking like the Black Republicans Part Two, but better,
Right. We didn't even
better
get Black
beat,
Republicans.
like a better beat, and them just going back and forth. Like that's what I wanted to hear, but that's not what we got. So maybe we'll get it in the future, maybe not. I don't know, but
I mean, I'm still mad we didn't get the album we wanted. We got Watch the Throne. Nobody wanted that album. We wanted the Nas and Jay album. Nobody wanted the Jay and Kanye album. That ain't the throne we want to watch. Like, that is not the throne we were trying to watch here, people. But yeah. So just running back on the recap, because we still got stuff we can talk about next week. Looking forward to it. Running back on the recap. So starting from the top. Uh, Leave it to the New York Yankees, the greatest team ever, to show us that the vaccine does work. And even though they did, I'm still not getting it. Um, South Carolina. Oh yeah. Smack your government. Just smack your government. Somehow, whenever you arrive at the conclusion, we can't give you a lethal injection, so we're just gonna let you pick which way you want to die. You are somehow stuck in the 1800s. I'm sorry. Critical race theory. No, you can't ban it. I kind of sort of a little bit get where you're kind of go, but that ain't the way to get there. That ain't the way to get there. And lastly, yeah, I got 444 sitting next to Illmatic. Now that it was written. Your recap, sir.
Yep. Yankees in the shot. Yeah, I'm not. It didn't sway my decision to go running to the door to get a shot. South Carolina. Why don't you just add lynchings to it? You might as well. Uh, ban the critical theory? No, you shouldn't. It's American history. American history is a lot of things, but tell the truth to our kids because they're gonna find out one way or the other. So, because it's the information age, so might as well learn it and teach it the right way in schools, because that's what you're designed to do. Teach. Uh, oh, we didn't talk about the plan. My bad. All right. Well, we didn't talk about that either. All right. I'm still got it was written over 444 slightly. It's a slight thing, but that's two each his own. Like I said, we're in different age brackets, so maybe in 30 years, when I'm a million years old, maybe I'll like 444 better. So there you
Wow, really? We're doing okay. Whatever, sir.
go.
Whatever, sir. But thank you all for tuning in yet again. Same bat time, same bat channel next week. Love you guys. Like, share, subscribe. Please, by all means, anything you like, anything you don't like, hit us in the comments section. We love a good debate. Heck, you never know. We might ask you to be on the show with us, looking for guests.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is it for this week. Thank you for tuning in to Yes Said It podcast. We'll check you back in a week. Peace.
Yeah.